we did some stuff at a nightclub, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, Rico got in with this gang. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
Hans is like your King's best buddy now.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
You guys found your artistic, creative place that you could bond and be bros with.
That's it. So I've got Hans and his sister Rachel have been pushing the candy that they bought it into the scene. They just pay the gang. So the gang is what are they called? Are they the Oni? Not the Oni.
Nagas.
What are they called? The Nagas. That's it.
Yeah.
And did we speculate that they were something to do with a kind of snake? Something to do with snakes, maybe? Right. Okay. And the Nagas do security then. Rachel makes the drug herself. And they are not allowed to take the drugs. That's because they're not rift, presumably.
Mm-hmm. That does sound to be about right.
Right, and then he tells Rico about a local high school kid called Van Delmar. Is that right? Yeah, he was happy. He was on the swim team. He took the candy, and something happened to him. He changed his life forever, but not for the good. Oh, I see. There you go. Right, yes. And Foxy. So I'm a bit confused about who Foxy is. Is Foxy the gang leader?
Foxy
No.
kind of runs higher end drug dealing, but the gang kind of takes her lead. And Foxy and King became kind of friendly too.
Yes, we did. Yes, she is a giant, elusive fox mythos. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have a kind of bit of a riff off, didn't we?
Yep, you totally had a riff off, and she appreciated it.
Yeah. Yep. What does she want? She is a drug dealer. She wants to be the drug dealer.
Yep.
And she never wants to be caught. She always has an exit strategy. Her mythos is an absolute terror of being captured or caught.
I do recall you played really well.
Yes, I think I did. Yeah, after rolling like dog shit for the last couple of sessions. Right. And she warns me not to take candy twice.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that everyone who has used it twice, except Hans, has disappeared. She leaves me with a card with a phone number on it. Right. And Rico investigates and is sure that the candy is only being peddled to Rift. We go to leave the club. We share information. The Barrio soldiers are being paid by DJ Hans. That's what their original name is it? Yep. And they're now kind of the Nagas. Is that right?
The underhand Naga gang, but they don't call themselves that.
No, Foxy's unifying some of the lesser gangs under her banner. And we spitball ideas. Rupert is going to look into a possible antidote to candy. I spend my downtime managing the business, and Rico spends his time working the case and trying to find out details about the high school swimmer kid. And that's the end of my notes. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, as we totally see Rupert, you're at the club the next day. You've gotten some downtime. You've gotten, you've recuperated as much as you can. Has anyone, by the way, taken their piece of candy that they may have had? I think I distributed enough pieces amongst everyone.
You did. Yeah, you tempted us.
Yeah.
So no sale yet?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
I want a controlled environment before. I want to set up a controlled environment before I try this.
Since Rupert is not with us today, we will say he is still working on the cure, because he's not responded back to me on Facebook yet either. So he must still be working on the cure. Oddly enough, he seems to have gotten past that fix for that weird chemical he made up that you guys kind of ignored him jonesing for before. He now seems kind of okay and just bypassing that whole part of himself lately. It's great. You've never seen so much spring in his step.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually productive and not setting fire to stuff. Amazing.
As you guys are in the back table spot, planning your next move, the camera slowly pans around you guys as the sweet, sweet jazz music's rolling in with the sound of the crowd.
Love it. Yeah. So, Rico, what did you find out about this swimmer kid?
Actually, I don't think that we've gone through and visited the high school yet. I know that was the plan,
totally
but I don't think that. Yeah. So.
Oh, right. We should go to the high school then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to find out some details about him, weren't you? About where he might be or what had happened, or.
Right. Try to track and find out.
I think that was your downtime action, wasn't it?
I thought that was the plan, but I don't think that we've gone through the actual downtime yet. Or am I wrong?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I think that was going to be when we start next, that's going to be where you're picking up the investigation.
Right.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Okay.
Well, maybe we should go and see him, Although, yeah, it probably, this day and age, it's a bit weird, 3 hairy-ass guys turning up, asking to see a kid on the swim team. Could be weird.
Weird.
Not weird at all.
No, not weird at all. No.
I guess checking out the school to figure out what the situation is in regards to security, and figure out a plan about how we're going to approach the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just not going to hand out student records.
But
go on.
So what's this guy? So this is a kid that's taking the stuff, or what?
His name's Juan Del Mar. He's on the swim team. He took candy twice. The first time, it worked out to his benefit, and then the second time, he caused him to disappear.
So, but we know this from our kind of contact in the club, don't we? So
yeah.
I wonder whether this is actually, whether his disappearance is obvious to the rest of the world. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if it's fairly recent, then you're wondering if it may have been publicized.
I'm wondering whether, because this affects rifts, does it become like as if you never existed? Do you see what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, Sammy the rat-faced boy took it twice, and we figured out what happened to him.
But we remember him, don't we? We know him. So, but because we're in this part, because we're in the world, because we're a bit special. My point is, if we turn up at the school and say, we're here to, talk about the disappearance of Juan Del Mar, and they go, who? Oh, it's just a thought. I'm just spitballing, talking out loud. It might be worth just going and seeing what their attitude to it is, Because if I was a school principal and one of my kids went missing, I'd be up in arms, I'd be going, whoa, this is not good, unless there's some kind of cover story for it or something. I don't know.
There is someone that we could ask, but you're not going to like it.
Oh, Rico, go on.
We could ask your new girlfriend. she's of age and maybe going to that school.
He's going with a high school girl? What?
Oh, is this the girl?
The candy girl that
Yeah, I know.
Candy girl that. He's
the
my
Raven
boss.
chick.
How was it, Jim? Come on, you did it best.
the I'm King's girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I think Rico is just a little salty about it.
yeah. Well, what about looking up the parents, and we could show up the house and be I can, go and talk my way and be like, yeah, I'm doing census and inquire how many people in the household, name of your kids, da 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 da.
Did Raul tell us how long ago this was?
We didn't. I didn't get a time scale. I don't know. But then again, the drug hasn't been on the scene that long, has it?
Yeah, it's only been like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we would.
Did you want to
This is
see
the
about
80s, right?
Yeah, it's a kind of pseudo
investigating the newspapers about this Juan kid?
I think that would be the first step, because going through the white pages to find every Del Mar in the city may be a stretch.
Okay, so Rico's gonna do what Rico does best and hit that library again?
Yep.
Do it, man. Do it.
Okay. I mean, here you were specifically given the first and last name. How handy is that? So,
I don't know how handy that was, because I think that in the city of Los Angeles, finding 3 Sarah Carters was just kind of convenient.
It
but
is so
you can narrow
convenient.
down to the school district.
I will give you a boost die for it. How about that?
Oh,
okay.
Ambassador, you are spoiling us.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tag Know Every Street and Hardworking Man. And this would be an investigate check?
An investigate check, yep.
Okay. You're going through all the newspapers and periodicals for the area.
Yeah.
Over the last week or two.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough. The internet is not at a point where we could just do a Google search.
No, you're literally going to the library, and they're going in the back room to grab the old periodicals and newspapers and
the power of the microfiche.
Yeah, I did that stuff as one of my high school, senior year. Was teacher aide to the library.
Hey, I did that in my junior year.
Nice.
That's where I found out all the great magazines were.
Right?
And the fact that they give them out at the end of the year.
Yeah, back room with all these old papers and periodicals and magazines and.
and unfortunately, Rico found this stash of magazines and got totally distracted going through all of this research material and got nothing.
Basically, Playboy. Yeah.
However, when you are going through the library and you're kind of being kind of you don't mean to, but you're being kind of pestery to the librarian, mainly because her name was Jill and you got distracted. You look across the way as you're doing your investigation, and you notice there's a gentleman in a nice fedora hat with a newspaper, and he basically has that spy versus spy style eyeballs over the paper watching you, and you get kind of creeped out that he's paying attention to you so intently.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was not the 80s, this would be a stranger danger moment. Where you totally say that this guy is eyeballing me a bit too much.
Okay. So.
And nothing seems to come up that you're looking for, except for a long list of names in the yellow pages, which we will say you followed up on that list, and it took the better part of a day to try to limit that list down to like 3 people. It doesn't help that you found, like 20 wands that are in their 40s with families, and you're just like, nope, wrong house.
Yeah.
Delmar Plumbing? Nope, wrong shop.
Yeah. Okay. So, am I still at the library?
We will say by the time you end up with your investigation, you end up back at the library.
Okay.
Unless you want to
And
end up somewhere.
is the guy with the fedora still there?
Do me a favor. Give me a roll for either sneak around or face danger. Sneak around if you want to ditch the guy, if he happened to have been following you.
I'm going to face danger.
Ooh.
Oh, good lad.
You know who this is, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This is your friend's mysterious friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Or one of them.
One of them, yeah. Go ahead and give me a face danger roll. Let's see what happens.
Come on, baby.
You got some good stuff here, right? And don't forget, you can always burn something to guarantee success.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to figure out what is applicable because I don't have any tags that relate to people skills.
Well, what are you doing? Confronting him?
Yep.
Well, I mean, haven't you got some physical traits that make you intimidating and stuff like that?
Oh, I'm not going to intimidate him.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to play it different, but I need to find him first.
Okay. Seriously, man, what are you doing? Oh.
Wow.
Maybe if I change my settings so I can throw so I can throw dice.
Maybe if you can see the dice go across the screen, they'll behave. So, back over at King's Club, Rico told you he was going to go look into this, and he'll give you a call or meet you back at the club. And you guys are watching the clock. You're watching the clock. Different acts have changed on the stage. Different folks have come up. Cole has gotten a lot of free drinks. Even a little snack dish of, nachos and cheese. All classic TV style. And you all just haven't heard back from Rico until late in the evening.
Huh.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No. I was going to say to Cole. Have you tried his pager?
I don't think he had a pager, did he?
I do have a pager. I can't afford a cell phone.
Well, at this point, they're like the suitcase, little bag-like phones, I think, at this point. I don't think they were even the brick yet.
Ship-to-shore phone.
Oh, no, cell phones are like, those little, like you say, like a little briefcase, weren't they?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was like a little bag. You had to plug it into the car, and like, I don't know if the brick was quite out. What year are we again?
80s-ish,
isn't it? Yeah.
No.
We may be up to the big gray brick.
Yeah. I think Lethal Weapon, the original Lethal Weapon. Well, I'm sure
Yep.
isn't there a scene on the bridge where they use the mobile phone and it carries it in one hand and it's got a cord and it's like the size of 2 house bricks.
Mobile
Well,
had air
at least it isn't a crank action military phone.
True. Come on, David, that's more your.
Hey, whoa. What the hell is that, man? Gosh, that hurts. That hurts.
I'm not that old, he says.
I wasn't expecting that from you. I mean, good lord. In October 80. No, I guess looks like here what I'm seeing, it could be the brick.
Anyway, I can't imagine.
Early 80s.
I can't imagine he carries a cell phone. He's just got to have.
No, but I mean, that means I could potentially, have one though.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, there's.
I'm connected, got money, those things.
Yeah.
Rico's got means.
Yeah, the only other thing that I could really pitch as an idea would be to talk to officers Das and Quinn.
Oh,
maybe there's a missing persons report.
Yeah, I think that missing person might be you. That's the
problem. You two are kind of stressing the no communication you've heard from Rico.
What trouble could he get into in a library? I'll say. I mean, honestly,
right?
Yeah.
I'll go to the phone there in the bar and I'll text him and be like, hey.
And of course, this is hours after he went to the library and went to go check on a bunch of names. And then all of a sudden, Rico in a haze. The world is dark and your vision's kind of swirly, and you hear this, murr, murr, and then slowly it goes from like a diesel truck's horn sound to and then all of a sudden you feel something. Your vision's kind of blurry. Your ears are kind of you feeling a whooshing sound, and you feel somebody place something cold and smooth in your hand, and you just hear this grisly voice saying, "Hey, drink some of that, and you'll feel better, kid. Answer that pager of yours. It's been going off for a while." And you kind of open your eyes and you see you kind of squat down on the brick and concrete of an alleyway that's filthy, and all of a sudden this smell hits you of 5-day-old body odor, and you look and there's a cheap bottle of whiskey in your hand, and you look over and you kind of squint and blink and realize it's the old homeless guy in the alley that usually stays behind King's Place.
I don't like this guy.
2 mangy
What?
As you just kind of like look around and it's dark. It's late in the day, and you're just like, wait a minute, it was like 4 o'clock when I went to confront Fedora Man. And then everything just gets hazy.
Oh dear.
How do you not like Odin? Come on, man.
I don't like him.
Go ahead and take
something about him is so far off that I am not comfortable around the guy.
Take a stasis 1 of faded.
Faded.
Your memory is faded. Your powers are kind of faded. You're definitely, feeling like maybe you took something you shouldn't have taken.
Yeah, I just screwed with the fedora, man.
I was going
screwed
to
with the fedora, and the fedora screwed with you.
Yes, I was going to sit down and just talk to the guy, see what information I could get out of him, but my approach was wrong.
And
apparently,
you just remember like turning on the guy as he was following you, and you totally did that whole "I'm going to ambush you down an alleyway," and then everything just faded to black. You don't remember what happened. You don't remember what you said. Everything just fades to black, and you're feeling definitely out of it. There's some disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden,
I'm
the little
going to check
Jack
for my
voice.
wallet.
Your wallet's there.
The contents are in the jar?
You start flipping through your wallet, and the old man looks at you and says, "Hey, can you spare $1?"
I double check my wallet to make sure I have $1.
You have everything is right where it should be.
Yeah, the Gray aren't gonna rob you. I mean, they're not like that.
Yeah, but they may have planted something on me too.
Ooh.
See, not just a pretty face, are you?
I like this. Do me a favor
So,
and give me a quick investigate as you check your wallet, you pat yourself down, you check to see if there's the alien implants after your abduction in your neck, trackers in your shoes or anything like that. Every conspiracy theorist ever rings in your mind as you're just like, okay, literally the Men in Black just neuralized you.
yeah. Man, I hate doing this out here, but maybe it's absolutely necessary. Check my butt.
And immediately your homeless friend Woden there totally gets the bottle back from you, and he's like, you've had too much to drink. Here, and he hands you like a broken car mirror to use for whatever you're doing. It's like, use this. I'll be over here petting my dog.
Right.
Check for animal probes.
And you do this whole Rico panic check, and everything looks to be okay.
Okay.
You're sensing this like whole mind body disconnect kind of thing going, like when you have that numb tingles and you touch yourself and it feels like somebody else. That's kind of what you're feeling.
Oh, great. Okay.
It could just be the after effects of whatever happened to you.
Okay. So now I check my pager.
And how many times have you guys called him in the last 6 hours?
Probably 3 or 4.
Yeah,
at least.
3 or 4, yeah.
Okay. I guess next step is to check my surroundings, figure out where I am, and then make my way back to King's.
It takes you a second to realize you're in the alley behind King's. And Woden, as you're kind of like looking around, he's like, "Hey kid, you staggered in here like an hour ago and passed out next to me. I kept you safe, kid," and he gives you the total wink and thumbs up.
Aw, see, and you don't like him.
Okay, this guy's earned a 5 spot.
Bad eye, and gives you the stare.
I don't remember consuming anything, but looking around, do I see my car?
You do not see your car. That kind of immediately butt puckers you when you're like, you're not, you're in the alley you're used to, so you know that you can always see your car just around the corner, and it's not there. But thankfully, when you did check your pockets, your keys are in your pockets.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Okay. So I'm going to take the employee's entrance into King's. I thank the old man for helping me out, and let's go find the others.
Anytime. And he takes they reaches into the pocket you saw him shove the 5 into, and he takes it, kind of does that crisp pop on the $5 bill, and reaches over to the curtain rod that he had leaning against the wall there, and starts walking out of the alleyway to go spend his $5 on some Colt 40 of poetry. and whistles for his 2 dogs, and they come barking, yapping, following him as he goes to probably get something for them to eat too. Because it's the 80s. You can still buy a couple hot dogs at the convenience store and a cool malt 40 and still have change.
Wow. You guys.
As you kind of hit the door like you know employees can to open it from the outside, even though it's an open inside only door. And you come on in and the music immediately hits you and you just realize you got a bit of a numb headache going. You know, not that throbbing type, but just the slightly numb, like your blood pressure's too high.
Okay.
Where the hell have you been?
As he comes staggering in from the employee's entrance.
We've been worried sick. I mean, do you know? I'll point to my watch. You know, do you know what time it is?
And
we know the library ain't open this
like
late.
his mom.
The realization that you've been gone all day, and you can only account for like half of that time that you were gone.
Yeah. So I share my experience with them. That the library was a bust. Went through the yellow pages. In the white pages, I was able to narrow it down to 3 different locations, but each location I visited was a no-go. Then I came back and I found one of the gray men, and I thought maybe if I could sit down and make a dialogue with him, I might get some information out of him. But by the time I actually sat down and had that conversation with him, he did something to me, and I don't remember the last 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, like Charlie Parker's lost manuscript. Yeah, I know.
Show me on the cocktail napkin when the strange man touched you.
Right here on the emblem. Oh, right on the emblem.
Not good trying to take one of those guys on, I don't think, by yourself.
I wasn't trying to fight him or anything. I just thought that through conversation, he might drop some clues that could lead somewhere.
I think
now you totally understand Cole's trepidation about these guys.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't think they're real talkers unless you're in a place where there's somebody watching, and then that at least protects you somewhat, maybe from them. But alone, who knows what they did to you?
Look, the only thing I can suggest is this is like if you ever listen to Norwegian experimental jazz.
That's very specific. I can't say that I have.
No, I mean, guys, listen, just listen. You know, it's like regular jazz, but you just don't know what their motivation is. And I think that's the issue here. Is look, we're playing at 2 different ends of the spectrum here.
True.
I mean, you've got some great Miles Davis and maybe all that kind of stuff, but you've also got this wild Niels Petter Molvær, going on. And, that's some crazy shit. That is some crazy shit. Notes that don't even exist in the range of human hearing. I mean, who plays that? Honestly, dogs? It's crazy. It's a crazy.
And they're looking at King like, the hell is he talking about?
I don't know.
Meanwhile, King's having flashbacks of this Norwegian throat singing with horns and things that make no sense.
That's it.
You're getting a lot of that.
So, but anyway, my point is that
it's like King's having a stroke.
No, I think
he's like rambling.
I think we should just try and avoid them. Just try and avoid them. We don't know what their motivation is my point. You know, coming back.
Yeah, no, definitely got to be careful around them.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All I can say is we've just got to do what we think is right, I think.
Oh, here, have a drink. It might shake things off for you a bit.
Yeah.
Pour him a shot.
Yeah.
With some good whiskey off behind the
Good
bar.
man. Yeah.
It gets the aftertaste of that swill out of his mouth, which is great because you're not sure how much of that was backwash.
Have you? Listen, Rico, you haven't taken any of that wild drug, have you?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, look, we haven't heard anything from Rupert. I imagine he's still working on it.
Oh.
I hope he hasn't burnt it down.
Oh, that reminds me, Rico, you had a piece of candy, right?
Yes, I did.
Was it on you when you disappeared?
Ooh.
Yes, it was.
For your mild success, because I forgot to ask about that, you discover when he mentions the candy, you pat the pocket, and you realize there's a lump of lint in that pocket, and the candy is gone.
Lint.
Give him
I
kind
think
of
the
the
gray
eye
man took my drugs from me.
Right.
Has he taken it from you, or is it turned into something mundane?
I turn out my
Or he
pocket.
took it.
You turn out your pocket, and there's a very large lump of lint, but not enough to be the candy turned into lint.
So standard level of lint in a pocket.
Yep.
Volume.
Yeah.
For a working man.
An acceptable amount of lint for a working man's pocket.
An acceptable amount of lint. I mean, Rico would have a good idea of the lint quotient. It's not my area of expertise. Right. Oh, so yours is gone. Okay, that's interesting. Do you think the fedora guy took it off you, or took it, or are you sure you didn't take it?
It's either the fedora guy or it was Odin.
I don't think he'd take it.
Poor Woden.
Woden.
Or you took it. Don't remember.
I'll look in. I'll do that thing where you kind of look in someone's eyes and you pull down their bottom eyelid, and I'll just look at Rico. I'll do that to Rico. Are you sure you haven't taken it? Like, you know.
I mean, just saying, man.
Is this a bit weird? You know.
His eyes are a little bloodshot, but not too bad.
Okay.
I don't think I took it. I don't remember taking it.
Well, you said you don't remember like the last 5 hours, so.
True.
True, yeah.
As all of a sudden there's a flashback of him raving all the way through town.
Dressed in a bikini.
Rico's crank moment.
That's it. See what we can find out just by being relatively straight. I know you've usually got a cover story, Cole. You know, you're good at that stuff. We could just go and speak to the principal maybe in the morning, and see where we get. You know, look, you've got some credible chops to do with, you know, your university kind of background. You know, we could maybe the kid won a scholarship or something. I don't know. I know. What do kids do?
You trust in Cole's, you know, shenanigans to be able to talk his way in.
Shenanigans? What do you mean shenanigans? Come on.
Yeah. The less shenanigans, more tomfoolery. Yeah. No. I like it. Coming up with an elaborate backstory, you know. At least we don't have to dress like. At least we don't have to dress like janitors.
Yeah. Well, no, I have an idea, so we're going in. So.
I'm all for it, you know. And if you need somebody to give you kind of wild jazz metaphors, then I'm your guy.
So yeah.
Just as you say that, the screen goes wiggly, 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 wiggly. To the next day, Cole's walking up all suave at the school.
Yeah.
Okay. I may have to take a very quick comfort break. I'm sorry, chaps. Just give me.
Yep.
A few
Actually,
minutes.
that's a good idea. Let's all take a quick 5.
Is that a good idea?
Because
Okay.
I
All
could
right,
use
thank you.
with one too.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's a
Right,
good
stand
point.
by.
So we'll all take a quick 5.
Big boy. Right, I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Cool.
All right, be right back. I am back, by the way.
Ah, excellent.
Cool.
I've got a cat second guessing what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, and what do you think?
He ran through the entire house trying to get to where I needed to go before he got there. He was frustrated because I was going in complete circles.
Okay.
But he was happy he did beat me back to my desk, so he could sit in my chair when I needed to sit down. And just look at me and go, meow.
What kind of cat is he?
Orange and white.
Awesome.
Because of course, all orange cats are insane.
Yeah, a very little brain, some of them.
Yeah. At least they're not Siamese. They're a pain in the butt.
It's because Siamese are too damn smart.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, very highly strung as well. Yeah, I had one as a child, and yeah, it didn't like me at all.
Oh, really? Oh, man. I grew up with a Siamese. She was my bud. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I was clever enough for her, you know?
Now these two I have are a pain in the ass. They're more like dogs.
Oh, really? Awesome. I posted a
Kind
little
of, except they want way too much attention. It's like you're supposed to be a cat. Leave me alone sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you should be independent, doing your own thing.
That is an awesome bar pick, by the way.
Yeah, that's our little beer room tucked away at the end of the kind of like a lounge area here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's just the beer section, and then there's a wine section kind of to the right of that. But like I say, there's 17 of us. We're going to increase, so I suspect that will. So this holiday is called, we call it Beer Quest.
Nice.
And so, it kind of grew from a tradition of us going to each other's cities and having beer in each other's kind of towns.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to the next one. But eventually, wives, husbands, girlfriends, whatever, said, "Oh, we should do a holiday together where we all do that." So what we do now is we bring beer from our local regions to wherever we go. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's really nice. So my brother-in-law and his wife have bought some, beer from their local Wiltshire area. I've bought some from Bewdley, which is the next town over from me, which is that big kind of brown box you can see. Neil's bought a load of Belgian beers and some local kind of Norwich stuff. And Chris has bought some things from his local Stafford brewery. Yeah, it's lovely.
I mean, a holiday for beer drinking. I mean, it sounds like a great plan to me.
It's hard to go wrong.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. We also do culture. We go out, see the sights.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But you're connoisseurs of beer. You're not alcoholics or nothing. It's connoisseurs.
No, that's right. No, absolutely not. No. I'm glad to make that distinction, Dave.
Yes, of course.
The fine tradition of the pub crawl.
I thought that beers have culture.
Exactly. They do. Yeah, yeasty culture.
Sadly, they pasteurize the culture out of them.
Yeah.
Don't want you stealing the secret sauce, after all. I mean, they don't want you getting sick on microorganisms in the brew.
That's
right. Oh, well. The last discovery starts April 4th. If you've been following the Star Trek Discovery.
Now that
we were only talking about that today, actually. Yeah.
Now that Showtime and Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
Now that they're together, I've actually gotten Kelly hooked on Halo, and we actually going to be able to see past the first season because we only got through the first season of Discovery.
Nice. Have you?
Yeah,
has anybody watched?
It was tough going.
Has anybody watched the 3-Body Problem yet?
Not
yet. It's on my list.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy.
Is it? Have you ever read the books?
No.
I've heard the books are very good, and it was on my next kind of set of things to read.
Okay.
Someone recommended them to me and said, if you're after some wild, bizarre sci-fi, this is the way.
We have a stranger that's wandered into our midst.
Oh yeah, who?
Guntis.
Hello.
No, that's not me.
Aha!
Hello, buddy. Come when you can.
Oh yeah.
Good that you're here. We're in trouble.
As the next morning, when you're getting ready to go to the school, he comes in and goes, "Eureka! I have the cure."
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Does he go, "Whatever you do, don't go to the school"? Shit. Oh. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, we were missing you, big boy.
Yeah. One of us had an encounter with the gray people again, the gray suits, and didn't go so well.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got Rico's got about 5 hours he doesn't recall.
Did you have a TPK?
Nope. I went solo, and after unsuccessful searches, I saw a gray man was watching me, so I decided to confront. I was hoping that I could strike up conversation and maybe he'd drop a clue. But instead, I got drugged, dropped off over at King's Place, and he took my candy.
But he got to sleep the night away with Odin in the alley, so.
And we've seen the most sixes rolled, I think, at any one time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's probably because Rico mocked King with his new girlfriend.
True.
Right?
Thinking about that chick, I should have took a shot. I mean, if Rico could score her, the life would have been different.
Yep. Yeah.
So as
Sorry, I tried my best for you.
Cole is totally walking, it's the next day. As Cole is walking up to the school, what is your plan? It sounds like Cole's got a plan.
I got a plan. So, wearing just a nice looking suit, nothing over fancy or nothing, as usual. Kind of the casual suit type look. And I go make my way to the office and asked to speak to the principal.
And the receptionist at the desk there, she says, "Are you a parent of a child at the school?" And she kind of looks down her nose with her big horn-rimmed glasses on.
Yeah, so I'm with the college. I'm actually here on behalf of a scout for the swim team, and just wanting to talk to the principal to get some information on his swim team kids. Heard there's some potential people here with that might be worth recruiting for a scholarship.
And she totally gives you this curious look, but she turns to eyeball the principal's door immediately, giving you right where it is. And then she looks at you and says, "Have a seat right over there. I'll let the principal know that you are here. It may be a few moments." And you see that there's
not a problem.
3 or 4 delinquents sitting in the chairs with one free spot right there closest to the door.
I'll make my way over politely and have a seat.
And you kind of hear her casually hit the intercom button to the principal saying that there's a college recruiter here. He needs to talk to you about the swim team. And a few minutes go by, the door opens up, and some delinquent teenager, comes out. You just hear a voice say, "Leave the door open, you delinquents." And she kind of props her nose up over the wall of the desk and says, "You can go see the principal now." And she points to the principal's office, and you feel like you've regressed 10 years to your youth.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I just kind of give a little grin and wink to the delinquent as I walk past.
I was going to say.
The one delinquent kind of sniffles and rolls his nose on his hand and says, "Just remember, the principal's not allowed to touch you. They can't use a paddle on you no matter what he says."
You got to book down your pants. Love it.
So, of course, as soon as you come in the doorway and he realizes you're about a foot taller than all the other customers he serviced today, he immediately gets to his feet behind his desk and pleasantly smiles and waves you in as you see the classic high school principal's office, different photos of the current teams, previous teams that did good. And he says,
"Cool.
Come in, have a seat."
Come straight in and over to him and lean across to shake his hand and introduce myself.
"So you're here recruiting for the swim team, isn't it? Isn't it a little late in the season for that, or is that just how you college recruiters?" And he totally gives you the pistol finger when he points at you and smiles. Is that how you guys operate?
It's the way we operate. We work, like to work kind of on the down low, keep things kind of quiet. Right now, just kind of needing to get some academic information. So was not at liberty right now to specify who we might be looking at, but was needing to review some their scholastic records for the school team, swim team, if possible.
Oh, I understand. I understand the whole rules and regulations for recruitment and all of that, and kickbacks are not allowed and all of those good rules.
Well, of course not. course
and
not.
he kind of, gets up from his desk and walks over to the wall of portraits he's got out there of different student groups, and he totally pulls down a picture and slides it across the desk to you as he sits down and kind of steeples his fingers. As you clearly see, it's this year's swim team. And the way the three rows of swimmers are all stacked up with their coach there, conveniently there's a description of list of names, and it takes you but but a moment to notice the name that you're looking for. And the fact in the photo you see like half the group have some kind of awards on their necks. And the person who you pretty much immediately point out as Juan's got 3 medals on his neck, more than anybody else on the team. And he says that picture was taken at the final, the city district finals last month. And you'll notice more than half of our swimmers are award winning.
Well, that's what brings me here. Is we've heard great things about the swim team of the school, and yes, quite the potential selection of top athletes. Especially looking at this one young man with 3 medals. I mean, by golly.
Ah, yes, young Del Mar. He kind of pauses before he says more. He kind of like gets choked up. It looks like he says he was one of our top athletes. In fact, we had coaches trying to recruit him for other teams, but swimming used to be his one true calling.
Used to be.
And he seems a little shy. Give me a convince to get him to tell you more.
All right. We'll use my own type of not burn it. My own kind of type of eccentric. I could, but I'm trying to get it. I still got to talk my way out of anything back that I burned.
My job is to convince you to burn everything.
Yeah.
Well, no, I had charming and that one burned, and I've only been able to get the one back over time that we've done things. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah, fun.
Let's see. Let's see. And I think I will use contacts in every neighborhood. So I probably drop a name or something that kind of helps.
Totally drop the swim coach's name.
Yeah. I think that's probably going to be good.
That's a pretty potent power you got going there.
Yeah, well, of course. That's my thing. I'm the talker. All right. So what am I doing? Convince?
Convince. You want him to open up and tell you something.
Yep. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Just making sure you weren't working anything else. Boom.
Ooh. So immediately he points to the picture and says, Mr. Del Mar there. One of the shining jewels of our scholastic sports. And of course, I shouldn't be saying this, and he totally looks to make sure the door is closed. He actually gets up at the desk and goes around and double checks that the door is fully closed. And then he kind of sits on the desk next to you to give you this whole very confident feel. And he says, as you can see from the picture there last month at the finals, young Mr. Del Mar was one of the star athletes of the entire event, taking gold medals in 3 different consecutive events. The only student we had doing the Ironman challenge of all 3 events.
Wow.
And he actually,
impressive.
Totally goes over to this little old classic military style filing cabinet, the big brownish gray ones.
Oh, yeah.
And he opens it up and pulls out a record sheet that apparently all 3 judges signed it, and they had a little photo taken of it with him holding it, that he broke 3 records in the 3 events he was in. And we're talking, when you look at the numbers there, he broke the records like by minutes, not seconds.
Wow.
And he says, yep.
Wow. Yeah, didn't quite get word about this young man.
He practically took to the water like a fish. But he seems to, he kind of like totally looks at you and says, now this stays between us, correct?
Of course.
He
Confidentiality is my middle name.
He seemed to have an off week a few weeks ago. And he totally picks up the calendar, and you see that, he flips back literally a week and a half. And we had an incident. No one was hurt, thankfully, but we had an incident that during practice, young Juan nearly drowned while swimming, which I couldn't believe something like that was possible. But the coach was saying he had an off day and he just wasn't himself, didn't have his usual gregariousness, seemed to be very, very lost in thought. And one of his schoolmates, as children horseplay around a pool, even though they're told it's not and how dangerous it could be, accidentally knocked Juan into the pool and he nearly drowned. Thankfully, the coach was able to hear the confusion and shouting and ran out there in time to save young Juan and give him mouth to mouth to keep it from being worse than it could have been. And
wow, that's unfortunate.
Has like honest emotion on his face. He was choked up, and he just says, ever since then, we've talked to the school counselor. He's talked to Juan and Juan's parents. Thankfully, there's no talk of lawsuit against the school, but Juan seems to have left the swim team with no interest in rejoining it.
Really? Is he still coming to school, or?
Yes, he still is an immaculate attendance for school, but unfortunately, he just does not seem interested in the swim team whatsoever.
Well, things happen. Girls could be. Maybe he's just things ain't working there, and he's just in a funk. Maybe he'll come back around.
We can only hope. I mean, he, as you can see, he's a huge boon to the swim team, and he's only a junior, so we would have at least one more year with him being one of our phenoms.
No, definitely. And his parents, I got to pause for maybe names.
Unfortunately, Esmeralda and Rico seem to mirror their son's opinions that if he doesn't want to swim, that he doesn't have to. I of course fear, after speaking with the counselor, that such a drastic diametric change doesn't seem to make sense, as he was one of the first ones to even volunteer to come in on vacation days to swim in the pool. Because unfortunately his parents did not have a pool at home. So he actually, and he really leans in close to you, like, please don't say anything about this. Actually, the coach gave him sets of keys to swim in the pool during off hours. He was one of the few people trusted to use the pool facility 24/7.
Interesting. Well, maybe he'll just need a little time and come back to it. So we'll have to maybe keep an eye, give him some space.
We can
obviously don't want to push him.
I'm sorry if he was one of the ones you were coming to look at, and we've wasted your time. Unfortunately, we do have many other students who could be used in your program.
Nope. Looks like you have several possibilities, and we didn't realize the level of capability that you actually had stealed away on your team, you sly devil.
Oh,
So
he beams at that. It's like, well, I make sure to give each of my sports scholastic teams the leeway they need to make sure that they develop students in mind, body, and spirit. And he totally gets very proud and puffed up and stands up and gestures towards the flag and gestures towards the portraits that our goal here is to bring up good citizens who can go to the future empowered with whatever they need.
well, I'll stand up and I kind of slap him on the back. Well, you're doing an awesome job, and as you know, we definitely appreciate that. Um, so I'm glad I see some really good candidates, and some of the rumors I was hearing is true. We'll give this young man some space, maybe come back and after a bit, and maybe try giving a chat to him, but give him some space for right now. I really appreciate your time, and give him a big, hearty handshake.
And you schmooze it up nicely. And since you have a great success, when you pull your hand away from the handshake is a piece of folded up yellow post-it that has his address and phone number on it.
Oh, get in. Good lad.
Well, thank you very much. Turn around and tuck it in my pocket and walk out with a little backhand wave. You have a great day.
And you come out of the
Go.
office, and the receptionist kind of
And I'm like,
eyeballs
go,
walk by.
go, whatever their mascot is, as I kind of breach the door, heading out.
Go Rangers!
Yeah.
As all the kids waiting to be disciplined just go, yay.
Yay. Go
And then give a little grin and wink to the secretary as I head out.
She kind of, smiles back at you. Super flirty.
Wow. Wow. Even though she sounds just like what's that character in Monsters Inc?
With
Oh.
glasses that
Always
talks like that.
Always watching.
Yeah. Well, they need some loving and charming too.
There's enough cold to go around.
It's just my notes.
All right. So we got names, address, the whole works.
So you head back to King's Place, just about opening time.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come back and see me, guys, and tell us all about it. And now that Rupert's back on board, maybe we can come up with a plan.
Yep. So I tell you, it's like he was three, broke records, 3 gold medals in a heat, and but had an incident, and all of a sudden he's like no longer interested in being a fish.
That's interesting, isn't it?
So almost like the drug may have stripped him of his identity.
His mojo.
What do you think? Do you think it might have taken his ability to be a rift away?
Potentially. Unless the Greys got involved and did something.
I don't know. I think we've got to see him. I think we've got to see him, and I think we've got to look him in the eye.
Cole totally has a healthy respect and paranoia against the men in the gray fedoras.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. But the kid, I think the kid. Do you know what I mean? Because we haven't found somebody yet and actually seen them who has taken this thing twice, and allegedly he's taken it twice. It sounds like his life was going
swimmingly.
Swimmingly. Hey! His life was going swimmingly, and I suspect that might have been because of the drug. And then when perhaps he took it twice, or something happened and he took it again, and it all went down the toilet. And I wonder if this thing can strip away your ability to be special, then we've got to do something.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I wonder whether Rico, if this guy in the suit, with the hat, if he thinks you're getting close to something that could actually take Rift powers away, could that be to his advantage? Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're investigating something where we could stop people getting their powers taken away, and yet this thing can take them away, and he would stop you. Are you following me?
No.
No. Okay.
Because if this candy is capable of taking powers away, and that is his intent, then wouldn't he have questioned me for information about the source?
They might be aware of it already.
Yeah, they might be. But my point is that if you were at the library researching this kid, and us getting to the bottom of it, and his agenda is to stop you doing that, because essentially us failing is him succeeding. Yeah.
Actually.
Well, from talking to the guy that I talked to, they didn't seem keen. They don't like rifts, and they don't necessarily get directly involved unless they're over exposing themselves. But at the same time, and he hinted at the ability to make things happen with rift abilities. But at the same time, they probably aren't keen on other people who are impacting rifts by either enhancing their power through the single use and their wishes, or even taking away because of overuse of and stuff. So they seem to like having that sole authority. So I don't think they would like the candy either.
But I mean, they seem to, I don't know. They seem to be more interested in maintaining the status quo than to do away
right, and the candy is not maintaining the status quo.
Right.
Because it can make a rift have castles and people or over, depending on their wishes, apparently.
Yeah.
So that becomes dangerous.
Could it be them making the drug?
I don't think so.
Seems a touch far-fetched for them to make the drug.
What would be in their motivation? Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, it basically grants your wish, right? So now you're over powerful with being a rift if you're realizing any of that, and now you're more of a risk at exposing the rift to the common people.
Sometimes, from my chemistry experience, I know that sometimes things don't go as you plan. Then maybe they might have made this drug, but it came out with some quirks, not how they intended.
True.
Possible.
Yeah. Could be some unintended consequence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, the power of
but it's just a hypothesis. Sorry?
The power of unintended consequence.
Yeah. Could be, but could be not.
Does anyone know how to turn the lights on in this room? Sorry, it's getting very dark in here, and I can't find the light switch.
Obviously, at King's Place,
I
only 2 people turn the lights on in the morning.
You got to light candles so they don't give you electricity there, just internet.
You know what? It's that kind of place. Hey, good lad. Thank you. Thanks, Ed. Carry on. Right, we have light now. Now I can see the 4 Chesterfield sofas. Anyway, sorry.
It's called ambiance.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that was hilarious.
Wow.
Too early in the morning. People don't want to turn lights on in the bar. They have the bare minimum
Oh
setting
yeah,
up the
because
place.
it's morning there, isn't it? It's nearly evening here. It's nearly 6:30 in the evening here.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, I see. Anyway, where were we? Oh yes.
All right. So
What? So have you? I think we need to go and look this kid in the face. Do you know where he is or how we find him?
I pull out the little post-it, give
Oh,
him the
wow.
parents' names, Rico and I forget her name.
Esmeralda.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Rico. You've got a kid. I don't know about Rico. I'll kind of look at him suspicious. Side eye. I'll side eye him.
My heart belongs to only one woman.
True, yes.
So
Lady Liberty. I know. Okay. I think we've got to see this kid, and I think we've got to ask him some tough questions, if you can remember.
I'm all for questioning this kid. You think that we're going to get a chance to talk to this kid?
Unless somebody interferes, I don't see why we couldn't.
No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I think
Okay.
we go and see him after school, maybe, or
is he still attending classes?
Yeah, he's still attending classes. I mean, we have the address. I mean, if you wanted to play janitor and try to talk to him, I mean, around the school.
And remember, you know where his house is and where his school is. You could always try to ambush him on the way home.
Yeah, well, gotta be careful with that one. But I mean,
let's make it super.
Not as bad as it. Yeah, people weren't quite as suspicious then as now, but it wasn't so much craziness. But could catch him outside the school and talk to him as the recruiter. Talk to his principal and that. I know what he looks like now because of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing a photo of this kid? Yeah.
So that's always a possibility.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very willing to speak to him. Speak to him on the if we get him coming out of school or go to his parents' house or I don't mind, man. Jazz is all about improvisation.
Yep. I think catching him on just as he, shortly after he's left the school, in that area, that we can chat with him. And I mean, you can all go be associates from the school sports program and, just got to kind of approach it in a subtle way because he is, like I said, kind of whatever the incident and almost drowning, which it seems such quite an odd thing. That we just need to be not like, hey, we got to get you on the team, but, kind of just, hey, we understand you've kind of lost interest. Is there something, question, kind of help you with on that?
We may want to see if they have any film on the swim meet that the incident occurred at.
Yeah, it wasn't everybody possible, but yeah, I don't think he had cameras. And people, it's not like nowadays where everybody had cell phones to film stuff.
We had the obnoxious parents with the beta recorders.
Yeah.
A camera
Yeah.
as big as a TV news reporter's, but took twice the shittiness of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
You could always ask his parents, and if the dice say yes, the dice say yes.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't hurt to approach him first and be like some general questions. Tell him, we're with the college and stuff, and see where his feels are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where are you gonna stage your interview?
Somewhere off the school. Does he, where he lives now, does he ride the bus or does he walk to school?
You're assuming he probably walks, that he's close enough.
Okay. So based on the address, based on the school, would figure the route and kind of watch for him, a block or so from the school so we can see where he's at, coming from, but in the direction that he should be going.
Okay. So just to be a jerk, I'll say go ahead and give me an investigate just to make sure you pick the right route.
Alrighty. You want to take that one, Rico, because you're like that street guy?
You know those streets?
Okay. See
It's like
here.
if I was walking home as a commoner, this is where I would go. And
As a commoner.
Yeah, I would have my driver pick me up from this corner because they have the best lattes.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I mean, Cole
So
is
I'm
Nouveau
going.
nobility.
So I'm going to tag know every street and technical troubleshooting, and then. Am I still under the effects of Fated?
You are, but I won't tag it just yet.
Okay.
Since you're only
And this is an
using
investigate
photos.
check.
Uh-huh.
And this is
You're
investigate.
not using
Any powers. Huh?
investigate, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're not using your mythos, so he's not tagging it
It's
yet.
your mythos
Right.
that's fading.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do I have investigate? This is an investigate check, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Getting better.
Mild
success.
success. That I was scared for a second. It took forever to populate, and then when it did, only the red square popped up, and that scared me. But mild success. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of have the guys jump in your cab, and you start ripping down streets, squealing the wheels. And you get attention, and you find a good spot to run into them. And you guys kind of spread out to make sure that you should be able to head them off at the pass.
Head them off. There you go.
But for your
before we get to this stage, sorry, can I just talk to Rupert about how far he got with an antidote to this thing, this drug, because that was what he was doing.
Well, we do know he's got 3 juice for resisting it if you want to resist it.
Right.
But how Rupert
he said he had an antidote, right?
Uh-huh.
But what does that look like in fiction? Is that like a kind of you've got an injection or you've got a pill or something or that anybody could administer? What does it look like?
Rookie the kid.
Just
how was the drug administered?
So
remind me, please.
It's eaten. So it's eaten like a peppermint candy.
Yep.
Eaten. So I guess this also needs to be eaten.
So you made your own kind of candy?
Count your candy.
Ooh.
So
it would be...
the other candy was peppermint. His is spearmint.
No. I thought about it. No, this has a taste of lakritsa.
Okay, the licorice.
Licorice, yeah.
Yeah. Black licorice, gross.
See, I love licorice, but that's
black one.
Yeah.
And a little bit a little bit with nasty overtones. I don't know if if anyone has tasted the really strong licorice candy without sugar.
Gives you that almost hairy tongue taste.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's bitters on bitters.
You're not enjoying this, David, are you? You're not enjoying this.
David's swearing, please don't give me the antidote. Hey, that's better than I was going to say. I was going to say it's a bottle of Dayquil with a sticky note covering the label saying antidote.
Mm.
Yeah, that might be better though. I mean,
yeah, and
in my opinion,
I have put them. These candies, they look kind of irregular because I didn't have much time to smooth them out, and in a kind of some nondescript small box.
It totally looks like homemade candy from Etsy that was mailed in the heat.
Yikes.
Okay. I'm gonna go behind the bar and I'm gonna get myself a glass of water.
Well, you guys are heading on out, to head them off at the pass.
Oh yeah, to go.
Yeah, but I. Crap.
You can
Okay,
take it
I'll have
without
to
water.
test it later.
I was gonna say, what are you gonna do with that glass of water?
He wants to take one.
I was going to test my powers.
Ooh, okay.
It didn't occur to me that maybe I may have been force-fed the candy.
Ooh. Okay, so we have this little flashback where you get the glass of water and fill it up.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to tag Frosty Reception and try this as a change the game power to see if I can freeze the water in the cup.
Okay, let me tack on one negative for your faded.
Okay. So why is it still set at... Oh.
Because I hadn't gotten into your character sheet yet.
Okay.
I was slow on
I'm also going to tag technical troubleshooting.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Okay, let's see what we see. Is I'm assuming you're trying to freeze the glass?
Yeah.
Go on.
I mean, it was either that or you're trying to jump over like a candlestick.
Have you rolled yet?
Not yet. I just wanted to double check. It's a change the game test, right?
Yep. Yeah. That's a perfect one for that type of deal.
Mild success 9.
Mild success.
Well, better than before. You're moving up.
At first, you're like, huh, and what normally would have had a nice solid frost.
Why did it throw 3 dice? Oh, sorry. Okay, so I put my cursor over it. It actually rolled 2 dice, but I'm using the 3D dice graphic.
Oh, okay. So it probably threw your last roll and this roll together at the same time.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
So what normally would have been like instantaneous would have had a nice, beautiful frost on the glass from the condensation, and then crystals would have started growing. Slowly, where your hand is, you feel the moist condensation, and you see a few ice crystals slowly crawling out the surface of the water until finally your frost power does what it's supposed to do. But you realize that there's some kind of delay in the power working, and it just feels off when you used your powers. It didn't just flow zen natural. It was actually you had to stop and think about it. And then once you got the frost going, you had to, count baseball cards to keep the frost going from losing your concentration.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to keep that knowledge to myself. And until we finish this stuff with this Delmar kid.
Okay, so as the flashback ends, Rico pulls right into the parking spot in his screechy style. And you guys kind of spread out to both sides of the street because you're not sure which one to be on. And with a mild success for the guessing where he'll be, you see this kid, immediately you recognize him as Juan. He's got his hands in his pocket, his backpack hanging really low. He's just oblivious to the world. He's got two friends with him that are just like talking shit back and forth and slapping him on the shoulder to get him to jump in and cheer up. And he's just like massively depressed.
Oh.
As he comes him and his two buddies come walking up on you guys. Who's gonna come out and say something to him?
That's me, huh?
I think it's got to be you, buddy.
Mhm.
It's got to be you, man. Otherwise, we just come off as creepy dudes. I'd say it, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know?
So I kind
Just
of
another
walk
day
towards him. It's like,
missed.
kind of walk towards him, and I'm like, hey, Juan?
And he kind of looks up at you all lackadaisical, and he's like, "My name's Juan. What's it to you?"
Hi. I
And his
stick my
buddies
hand
like
out to shit.
totally stop back, like, "Whoa, who's this dude?" And sorry, you're saying about
Yeah.
sticking your hand out?
Yeah, I stick my hand out to shake his hand. It's like, hey, Cole Bankman, I'm with the university swim team, and I've heard some great stuff about your abilities in swimming. Was just wanting to chat with you a little bit.
And he kind of pulls his hand out of his pocket and shakes your hand pretty stoutly. But then kind of as soon as you say swimming, you can practically see his shoulders sag down. And he kind of puts his hand back in his pocket, and his friends are like, dude, a recruiter for swimming? This is what you want. He's like, I'm late heading home. I mean, if you want to walk and talk, we can walk and talk.
Sure, we can do that. I got my associates with me here. We just wanted to talk. I understand, yeah, you had kind of a rough time recently. You boys mind giving us some space?
They kind of look dubiously at you for a second, and then the one dude's like, dude, he's a college recruiter. This is perfect. Juan's mom is going to be so happy. And they just like give you the look, and they're like, do right by our bro there. Do right.
Yeah.
Give him a
Right,
good
dude.
deal. He's always wanted to go to college.
Give the boys a wink.
And they kind of like,
Here.
walk past you guys.
Here, go get some ice cream. Give them
Oh,
$10.
it's every college recruiting nightmare. He's already throwing cash around.
No, not to the person I'm recruiting. I just
True.
got some ice cream for the friends.
It's just like a good booster should. Let me give the money to your spouse, not to you.
I'm supporting this fan club.
Don't worry, the car's a lease. I didn't actually buy it for you. So he kind of like lackadaisically walks towards his house. He kind of turns the street and points out to that's his house and his mom's home. But I guess you can come on in.
Sure. So it's just some quick questions. Like I said, I understand you kind of lost your interest. Do you mind if we inquire why or what happened?
Ooh.
Are we with him? Are we with you?
Yeah.
He did introduce you guys, so if you want to be with,
Yeah.
Yep.
totally do it in
Yeah,
not
the
a creepy
associates.
kind of way.
Yep. I will listen to everything he says.
Okay, and he kind of like, he's like, who told you? Who have you been talking to? And you totally sense he's getting kind of defensive.
Just we kind of talk around to people at the school. I totally understand things in life change and things happen, but it looked like you were having a really good career coming up, and just curious if there's something we can help with, if
And he kind of gives you that teenage squinty face, because you're an adult, you're automatically sus. And go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm a young adult. Actually, I'm not 30. I'm in my 20s.
You're a
30
college
is the
kid.
adult conspiracy.
Yep.
I'm a college kid. Like,
Go
you know, I've been there. Just yeah.
Go ahead and give me a convince.
All right. Well, we're gonna use my normals for my talkie.
Is anybody going to chime in and offer a help?
Well, I was gonna say I think I'm gonna use.
See, I actually have expert advice that I could pitch in.
Ooh.
Oh man, that is perfect.
Immediately, Rico's going to say, "Don't be like me, man. Stay in school."
Well.
Well, I was gonna
use
the tight like that
background?
as well.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Pulling in our group.
So are Rico and Juan of the same kind of background, or not? Because are you Puerto Rican or something? Rico?
I am Puerto Rican. However, I am from the island of Puerto Rico. Well, I don't.
Helps
that would
or
be one of the
what
helps.
or?
Yep. So you can go ahead and click.
Okay, because I do have a help
there.
from Rico.
Yeah.
So I take away the help, and then add a plus.
Yep. Well, Rico would.
All right.
Rico would take away a help on his list.
Oh, on his list. Sorry.
Because he's donating one of his helps to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So and then I get a plus. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so go for it as you're trying to touch the youth of America.
I'm just surprised that I'm just trying. Hey. Watch how you say that. Easy how you say that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like surprised that Jim's not trying to influence something somehow. All right. Convince, right?
Yep. So immediately.
I mean, that's my thing. I'm a talkie man.
It's like something clicks between the two of you. And you guys just, by the time you guys turn the corner talking, he's got his hands out of his pocket. He's gesturing with his hands while he's talking. And he's just like giving you this whole spiel of, and, his life. He's spewing his life story, his mom's story, his dad's story. And for some reason, things seem very normal when he's describing the story. When he talked to you about swimming, he kind of got a little excited, but he's just like, some reason you see like repressed excitement. Like he doesn't remember why he used to be excited swimming, but it's just swimming. I was just good at it. I don't know what the big deal is everybody made out of it. I mean, it's not like I liked swimming. It's just something I could do. And I don't know what the big deal is that everybody's making about it. I mean, so I got pushed in the water by one of my friends, and then I couldn't get my head above the water and started panicking because I took in some water, and everybody said I used to set records for speed and holding my breath underwater, but I don't really remember any of that.
As he's talking, can I look at him? Can I determine whether he is still a rift?
Ooh.
I want to stare into his soul.
Ooh.
I think weaknesses would come into it.
Let's
for a good
see.
story,
You were
probably.
opening.
Yeah, I always expect Jim to want to tag something.
Yeah, sucker for a good story, maybe. I don't know.
Nope. I'm good with what you got there.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, right. So what do you think? Sorry, change the game, or what was the other thing?
Change the game or stop holding back.
I think it's got to be a stop holding back. Is that a cinematic move?
That's a cinematic move, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's have that. Oh, that's rubbish.
Wow.
A miss. Wow.
So definitely go ahead and mark a. Let's see, which one did
Yep.
you use that would
Status.
be the best one? Let's go with
Uh,
Psychopomp. Long Forgotten Secrets.
Yep.
Go ahead and mark a fade.
Ooh. Shit. Okay.
Mark a what?
A fade.
A fade
Basically,
on
3
my.
fades and you lose the power and it flips to a mythos. That would
Yep.
suck.
You
That
mean
would.
you mean a crack? Oh, is it fade? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fade on the mythos.
for
Sorry.
mythos it's fade.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Crack is the other thing. Crack is in the logos, isn't it?
Dude.
And you open
Ooh.
yourself up, and there is just some mojo going on that it kind of like backlashed on you. You're
Yep.
not sure if he's
Yeah.
a rift or not, but something is up with this kid that totally jacked up your attempt. As all of a
Yeah.
sudden Juan looks back at Cole and
Uh.
says, something okay with your buddy? As you see King kind of
Yes, he
like
staggers.
grab his temple with a instant migraine.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll kind of hold my head and just say.
Are you okay there, King? I know it's a little warm out today.
Yeah, it is, man. And I'll take out a handkerchief and I'll lift off my pork pie hat and I'll kind of mop my brow. As maybe I just need to sit in the car for a minute. Yeah, man. This is wild. You know, it reminds me of that time I partied with BB King and, whew, man,
Ah.
I woke up in a ditch and it was a wild night. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, take a break.
I will. Yeah, and I'll kind of step away.
All right. So yeah, so with that, it's like, oh yeah, partying. Yeah, I remember my days back on the fencing team and stuff. It's like you haven't been out hanging and partying with any of the crazy kids, have you?
He's like, no, my mom's won't let me get away with any of that craziness. I
Yeah.
just don't know why I ever joined the swim team. I mean, it's just something to do, I guess.
There is something that we had not considered as an approach. I don't know if I can make a suggestion here.
I mean, yeah, we're talking, man. He's open.
Maybe a sports psychologist could help.
Possible.
And as you guys
Yeah.
are walking and talking, he goes up his stoop and he invites you guys in, and you totally see him whip out his latchkey key, opens the door, but to your surprise, his mom is there, and he like hollers to her while she's sitting in the kitchen doing something, and he says, "Hey, mom, I got some friends here. We're gonna be talking in my room about college." And she like, "Oh, my baby's going to college." And he invites you guys up the stairs, and you see like
Okay.
he is obviously the only child, because as you're walking up the stairwell, there's picture after picture after picture of him swimming, diving, jumping, and you practically see a glistening of water that looks like scales on his side and back as he's swimming.
Huh.
And he's like three body lengths ahead of any of the competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was.
And
So I'll be like, sorry, go ahead.
And as you guys are walking up to his room, who's the one that's most likely to be looking at stuff compared to talking to the kid?
I'm probably focused on the talk, so
And he is totally
keeping him
engaged with
engaged.
Cole.
It'll be Rico or Rupert.
Rupert will be definitely looking for clues.
Rupert, as you're doing that, I was going to say jump into Facebook real quick. And you see a hand-drawn picture that does get your attention.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's right next to it looks like a photocopy of a Japanese text, and someone hand drew a picture of this man-fish shape, where it literally looks like, a fish with a man's head sprouting out of the top of the fish instead of a fish head.
Mm-hmm.
And you see like 30 little doodles in his room of this. You totally understand the obsessive quality of the doodle.
I want to ask, who is this?
Sure.
Looks interesting.
You totally interject into the conversation real quick, saying, "Look at the cool fish dude. Who's that? What's up with that?" And when you do, he just like goes, "Huh? It's just something I." And he kind of scratches his head and takes the picture down. And when he's looking at it, it looks like it could be the first time he's ever seen the picture from the expression on his face. He's just kind of, he like does that whole map thing where you pick the map up and turn it around to see which way is up.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So is that something you drew?
And he totally looks at the bottom of the picture, as I put it in Roll20 for you. And he's like, "Well, those are my initials, but I don't really remember drawing some kind of weird-ish person."
Looks pretty skilled there. You must have more skills than just swimming.
I guess. And he kind of does that teenage flop in the bed thing where he, still has his shoes on and, gestures that you guys can look at his stuff if you want. But what about, what can you do to make sure I can make it to college? I don't have to swim, do I? And he gives you like an almost disgusted look when he says swim. It just the word doesn't taste good in his mouth.
Yeah. Definitely other options. I mean, scholarship for swimming definitely, based on past skills, is something that looked very viable for you. Just curiosity. No other recruiters or anybody tried to talk to you recently in the last several weeks prior to this event?
I mean, after I got the gold medals, I guess everybody wanted to talk to me, but nobody's. I mean, and he reaches over and he grabs a handful of like, "Sorry you were out" notes that apparently his mom's been making, and as he does, a little wrapper comes fluttering out of the stack of papers. And as that happens, Rupert, go ahead and give me an investigate as you're checking out this kid's room.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what powers are you tagging?
Of course, I have an investigate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you're going to tag some powers, tag some abilities,
tag some stuff to help you.
Yep.
And I'm trained in forensics, so
yeah,
very good.
I would definitely come into play. You're basically clandestinely investigating this kid's room without his knowledge. That's totally forensics.
So
come on.
I got 11.
Oh.
Nice.
Right. Nice.
Okay, so you look in his wastebasket as a forensics expert always would. You always look in the wastebasket first. And,
yes, of course.
You notice there's, a couple weeks worth of trash in there that, because teenage boy, of course, he hasn't cleaned it out. Maybe too many pieces of tissue paper. But at the
Hey!
bottom, there's something that
Uh,
caught your glance, almost like someone tried
God.
to bury it. But with your keen forensics eye, you pulled out that number 2 pencil and slowly slid it out, and you find one of those wrappers, just like the one that you used when you tested the candy. It looks maybe a month or 2 old in there, because probably the furry growth on it.
No.
And just as you totally lift it up with your pencil and you kind of like gesture to the guys subtly, you notice as he's handing the papers to Cole with the other people that may have reached out to him, but the kid doesn't care to read any of the notes, you see a second wrapper come fluttering out of the pile of papers and lands on the ground. Crisp, clean, can't be more than a few days old.
Do you like subtly kind of point that out to us, or?
And Rupert, with that beautiful roll there, you also are pretty sure it's basically was opened around the same time the kid's fortune has changed. Is there any questions you'd like to ask with your 2 power?
Changed for the worse or changed for the better?
Basically his swimming skill has disappeared.
Okay.
Definitely for the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, and I will totally say if you say for one of those you'd like to know if there's any other clues, there is something else I can tell you besides what you already got.
I can't even imagine what to ask.
Go on. Well, if Jim's giving you a lifeline, go for it, buddy.
Out of game a question. Anybody can suggest me what what to look for, what to ask.
Well, if there's a clue you haven't noticed yet that Jim is willing to tell you, then I would take that first and go from there.
You mean talk to the boy?
Uh-huh. I mean, so I've got a great clue to give you if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always good about being honest and not screwing you on stuff, so.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah, just wait until we play Blades in the Dark.
So I will give you, with your keen forensics eye, you notice, like all forensics guys, you know to look for the shoes. The shoes tell you the truth. They reveal the true soul of the mystery. And
very good. I love
you
it.
kind of poke around his closet and you find one pair of sneakers that seems to have some kind of charring on it that gets your attention. And there's some kind of interesting burn on the shoes. Like they were, being worn while something hot was happening underneath a person. And you basically take a sampling of that, which, I will tell you is basically comes up as a chemical residue of something that would involve a furnace. And when I say furnace, I mean like industrial smelting furnace. Like the silica used to help refine something is in there. Except the silica looks more like sugar.
Huh.
Interesting.
So,
I feel like I have encountered it somewhere, but I can't remember.
We're not getting mixed up with the glass thing, are we?
Yeah, it's not the glass thing.
I poke to somebody who is standing next to closer to me and say, hey, this glass-like substance. I think I saw it somewhere. I don't remember where.
I'll take a look at it.
Here.
Could it be from the rave?
It totally looks like confection sugar.
Yeah, it's going to be from a sweet factory or something.
Like for making the drugs.
Like for making the drugs, yep.
Okay.
And
But I mean, since I went snooping behind the scenes at the rave, did I see anything along these lines there?
no, you haven't.
Okay.
So you're definitely putting up on the conspiracy board that there's a third location. This kid was somewhere where the candy is made. But he seems to just be, he just doesn't remember any basic things like why did he love swimming. You guys, even though after King's horrendous opening himself up to the migraine, you guys are getting the gist that he's not a rift. He may have been one because from everything you've seen, you guys are totally getting the feeling this kid was a rift as something aquatic, something special.
Right.
And now
that's
you're
where my
totally
mind went.
putting it together that he's a sleeper.
Yep.
That whatever happened shut him down.
Yep. No, that's where I'm totally at. So, actually, that's my next question is, which I was heading to before finding the rappers and stuff. My question around, people talking to him. I'm like, just curious if anybody might have offered anything to you to like help enhance your abilities or anything. Do you recall? You didn't take anything, right?
Ooh, that would take another.
Sometimes those can have some effects.
Ooh, there you go. Having
as far as how you're feeling right now. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. I like this direction. I like the inquiry, not interrogation. Inquiry.
No, inquiry. I'm being totally like, compassionate to the kid. Like I'm young, just barely out of high school myself, and I get it, and I know how the scene can be. I was on the fencing team, and things can get kind of crazy. People offering stuff, so definitely like being with him and understanding, and just trying to help him. Not as much now trying to recruit him, but trying to help him and understand why he's feeling like he is. Okay. Being a friend.
Go ahead and tag what you're going to tag and go for a convince. However, I am going to tag your overwhelmed.
Yep.
Since your forensic buddy is tapping you on the shoulder, pointing to the shoes, and you see Rico lick the glass-like substance and say, nope, it's sugar.
Yep. All right.
Lots of stuff going on, and you're just like, come on, kid, tell me the truth. And he's like, you can't handle the truth.
Truth.
All right. I don't know if I want to tag those out. Think. Connections with my friends. We'll go with that. What the heck? I feel good here. Oops. So we're doing a convince again.
Yep, I'm hoping for great success here.
Well, so was I.
Okay. So you can ask me a question here. So he kind of opens up a little there that, well, he had a guy that tried pushing that performance enhancing shit, but none of us took it. However, I did have there was this girl that, she's one of those kind of girls that just hangs on to you to try to be cool because she's with you.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And she gave me this. I remember she gave me some kind of candy, some kind of something that would supposedly give me my heart's desire, and it's all kind of it's bullshit. It's all kind of bullshit.
Well, all that stuff is, yeah, I get you.
I mean, I dreamed and thought I was the big sportsman and I could do all kinds of stuff. And I mean, somehow I must have had a little bit of confidence. Must have been that placebo thing, because I did win the swim meets,
Mine can, mine can be a wondrous thing.
but I just it all feels like a dream, man, like a dream. And then I tried. I guess I tried living the dream again, but it was all just a dream. It wasn't real. I mean, come on, that can't be real. You can't hold your breath for an hour. That was just some kind of stupid kid dream I had.
There's some crazy stuff people do, but that, yeah, an hour seems like an awful long time. So,
Yeah,
but look,
that was all just a dream.
Um,
His eyes kind of glaze over in a familiar, you realize it's that whole sleeper denial thing, because they
yep,
lack the ability to conceptualize it,
yep,
as well as they're convincing themselves it's not real. As
yeah.
as
So,
you're totally getting the whole vibe of he's unmanifesting it in his own special sleeper way.
right. So, do you work any side jobs or anything while going to school or anything?
No, no,
Just curious.
it's just school and sports. That's all my mom allows
Okay.
me to do.
All right.
She wants me to be a
Well,
doctor or a lawyer or something.
ah, well, those are noble causes and stuff. And I look over and see them like looking at a pair of shoes. It's like, oh, those look like some snazzy shoes.
Oh,
Uh,
every time I win a competition, my dad buys me a new pair of sneakers. I
yeah,
I haven't I don't remember wearing those for a couple for
yeah, they look like they've been through some rough times.
I don't remember that happening.
Nah, huh? Weird. Anywho, look, I think you have great potential for college. Swimming isn't everything, and unfortunately, that's my main kind of catch is recruiting for like swim team and that kind of stuff. Some of the other sports, but I think you have some great potential. If got to keep your grades up and keep your studying. I will pass your name on to some other people at the college. So keep doing what you're doing, and some people will be in touch with you to look at getting you into college. But totally understand, not wanting to do the swimming if you're just not feeling it. You got to have that in your heart. So I reach my hand out to give them a big shake and pat on the shoulder and look at the other two to like, okay, let's let's go ahead and head out.
Do you,
um,
do you take the
as the
shoe
last
with you?
at the last moment, Rupert wants to say something to the boy. I kind of what was his name? Remind me.
Juan.
Juan.
One, like sort of sounding like Chinese.
No, Juan, like Hispanic. Dip.
Juan. I
Yes.
understand. Hey, Juan. I want to tell you something, and I lean towards him, kind of not exactly whispering at his ear, but very close. And I said to him, showing him discreetly this wrapper I found. I said, "Look, I found this here on the floor. I know it, and I must tell you, if somebody ever tries to give you another one with this, don't take it. You were lucky you even survived. It's a drug, and now some people have died from taking it. Make sure you don't touch it. Okay?"
And he just
It's
kind of he gives you
just a friendly warning,
he gives
and
you
I
kind of
and
a
I
weird
back
look.
off.
No candy from strangers. Got it. He seems to not quite recognize the wrapper when you show it to him.
Yeah, he doesn't know he's sleeper. We not getting anything else from him. We've got the clues we need. So
Well,
yeah, so I start heading out.
Actually, there's one thing that we haven't tried. Rupert has the cure, right?
Well, that would be an antidote if you were made to take the candy.
Okay.
What was done
So
to
the
him
antidote
was,
would not work.
I mean, you could try, but I'm going to give you a freebie and say probably not. It's not that.
It's when he's under the. Yeah, it's when you're under the influence of the. You get your wishes deal. I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah.
Not.
It doesn't look like the situation here.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
No, he's been burned out.
No.
Yeah.
And put to sleep by possibly
Had
the
it.
second dose.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is now.
On the way out, I'm going to snap a quick shot of the Fishman picture.
Okay. You whip out the old, detective.
In 110 millimeter or whatever film.
Yep.
Click, crank, crank, crank. Come on, I miss those.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay, and he just like, he kind of just sits in the bed as you guys leave going, oh man, this is going to cost me my shot at college. Mom's going to kill me.
I still think that if Dr. Crystal Knight's willing to see him, maybe she can get some more information out of him. But it's
you would have to bring him back. You'd have to bring him back into out of being a sleeper. I mean, as long as he's a sleeper, he's not going to know shit. So
everything will be
daydreams. Yep.
But maybe in a daydream we could find a clue.
I mean, you got.
I think we got clues. We got several clues. So, so as we're heading out, I'm like, I yell down the hall or wherever the mother is, like, "Hey, you got a great son. There's some opportunities. I'll pass on to other people at the college about them." As we head out.
Okay.
And she's like, "Thank you." And the family cat does something.
Knocks something off a shelf somewhere. Okay, great. So yeah, as we walk back and get back with King, it's like, look, obviously, so we might want to go find that little gal that's pawning candy off. She may know more, maybe more than she appears to be. But obviously, we got to get to the root of the candy because obviously it's doing something bad. Then, if taken again, apparently is burning out their rift.
That's what I thought. I tried to look at him, in that way, and I don't know, something happened.
So no, he's
kind of
he
confirms my theory.
Yeah, based on the pictures in the hallway, he definitely was a rift. He drew a picture of a merman. The pictures had signs of him being like scaly when he was in the water swimming and stuff, but he has no recollection. So I think he's lost that. So now we really just, and then there's a factory somewhere here in town that we got to figure out.
And of course, the slightly terrorizing idea that someone could turn off a rift, besides the guys in the gray fedoras.
Right.
But that was kind of my point earlier. Is it to their advantage that this thing is gonna wipe out rifts?
Pretty much. Looks like potential. It definitely, the second dose seems to not be a good thing for a rift.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know if Rupert got enough samples off the shoe that we can analyze some dirt to figure out what part of the city it might have been, but.
So Rupert, did you take the shoe?
Oh, I don't believe I needed. Just took some scraped off some sample.
Okay, so that'll work. Go ahead and give me a investigate +1.
Good lad.
Yeah, your little underage girlfriend. You need to talk to her. There, King.
Why do you think it's her?
Hey, 10. That'll do it.
Oh, that's good, buddy.
Yeah, I used my chem reactor.
So when you guys get back to King's place, you bust out the reactor in the back of Rico's car, and you do this sciencey shit, and you're just like, okay, here's a list of, okay, scratch that one, scratch that one, scratch that one. You have just one warehouse in the industrial sector that would possibly have all the chemical residues you found on the shoes.
Wow. What shoes? What's going on?
So there was some.
The boy's shoes.
Yeah, you had a pair of shoes that were kind of burnt and like from more than just the typical like burn mark, something industrial.
So do you think this girl took in there?
There's something. Well, she may be involved, or she just may be inadvertently sharing the stuff. But the description of her sounded very much like the young lady you were talking to. Her gregarious and clingy disposition.
Wow. Harsh, man.
Somebody's got relationship issues. Cole doesn't let them keep the grass growing under their feet for long. Sorry, hon, it's been a good week, but your expiration date, just like the milk, has come up.
Young college kid. Gotta sample all the flowers.
Where this is going. Anyway,
okay. So you have a location where the residue in his shoes come from. It's weird though, because his shoe has that burn mark, but not like it doesn't look like it was tramping around a warehouse, but apparently has the chemical residue on it from something hot, like a furnace or a colander type of deal for smelting something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as King totally, just because King's talked about her so much, totally when you go back to the bar, by the way, while Rupert is doing his investigation in the trunk of the car, you totally notice that young girl that's, your girlfriend is totally in the bar with some college age guy, and she's just like giving King the moony eyes.
Excellent. Good.
Speaking of.
She's willing to go out with a college kid in order to get into King's Lounge.
Get into the lounge. Okay. Well, I think, we'll look at an interrogation of her, but maybe it might be next time. I don't know.
Yep. It's time to wrap up.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll jump back at that spot next time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll come up with a plan. How about that?
He's like, I need to work this one. Need time. All right.
Right. Well done, everyone. That was very peculiar, but good.
Yep.
Well done, Rupert, for joining.
Yep.
Yes. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing as always.
Perfect timing for the mad science. We needed mad science.
And then, well, potentially there's a furnace in next week's adventure or next time's adventure, so you could set something on fire. I know you love that.
Is this anywhere? Where in
Furnace means
relation? Sorry. Go
furnace
ahead.
means high temperature, and high temperature is easier to find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the relationship to the club from this the warehouse?
It's a.
Are they anywhere nearby or?
No, it's over in the industrial part of town.
Okay, different part of town. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a good
Just
20 25 minute drive across town.
Okay, so it's not like it's like way far away, but
yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Good job, all.
Yep.
Are we going to talk about the next date in the chat?
Yeah, we can bring it up in the chat.
Yep.
I'm assuming it would be. Let me pull up my little.
Yeah, we had
Excel
2
sheet.
dates, I think, on your calendar of potential the last like 2 Saturdays of April.
Yeah, that's what I.
One of those 2.
Like the 20th and the 27th.
What, of April?
Of April, yeah.
Right now, it looks like either one of those are open for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm honest.
We can always follow up in the chat.
Yeah. I don't know. Until I get back to work, I can't tell.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah. I can say that both the 20th and 27th are free for me.
Okay.
Cool.
Unless you end up in England.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking that it may be 2025 when I go, because this project that I'm on is supposed to end in 2025, so I'll probably take a break, go to England, and then go back to work.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll be here,
All right.
baby.
So yeah, everybody post what they think in the channel, for one of those 2 dates, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Good work, everyone. Well done.
All right.
Yep. Enjoy your holiday.
Yeah.
I will. Thank
Aaron.
you so much. Yeah. I've got some serious beer drinking to do, and I hear there's a risotto for dinner.
I'm
Nice.
sure you got to go catch up on some beer drinking with everybody right now. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thank them for sharing you with us on the weekend.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will. I can see a bunch of them playing some board games on the big dining table. In the other
Nice.
Nice.
room. Looks good. All right,
Take care,
guys.
fellas.
Love to see you.
All right. There you go.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.